Hello, lovely world. So, I was visualizing what today's video could be discussing. Now, I know there's a lot of things that I could discuss and I should discuss and I would want to discuss, but in today's video, video in particular, there's this. I'm not saying I'm sponsored by this company by any means, but there's you all know how much I love horror films. I've talked about it before on this channel. I've talked about, all the great horror films I've watched over the course of my lifetime, from when I turned 18 all the way until my 31st birthday last year, and even up till today. But there's always this one company that I find very, I don't know if it's a company, it's a production thing. And it's most of the movies in this, production, whatever you want to call it, has some pretty great films. And I just watched Jezebel, which is a horror film that I thought was really good. And this production, I don't know if you want to call it a company, it's called Blumhouse Productions. Now, they've had some great movies that have, over the years, that have been released in theaters and on DVD that have been pretty good. For example, Jezebel is one of them. I don't know every single movie that, Blumhouse has done, but it's just that, spookiness to every single movie that the production whatever it is. I want to say it's a company, but I don't know if that's 100% true. But there's just been so many movies that, and it's not just horror, it could be thrillers or, foreign films as well, that have that Blumhouse production tattooed all over the movies that they've made. And I'm not saying, all Blumhouse movies are amazing. I'm just saying the ones that I've seen that are really interesting to watch are Blumhouse production films. And I could list, a bunch of them right now, but I'm not going to do that. I just want to let you guys know that of all of the horror films that I've watched that are, Blumhouse Productions or some other production company or production thing, whatever they call it, there's not, there's been a lot of great horror films that I've watched in my lifetime. And I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but I can list a few here. Like Friday the 13th, there's been a lot of great films around that. Final Destination, I talked about that recently. The original Halloween film, even the last Halloween film that was released a couple years ago, Unborn. There's just, there's just so many amazing, great horror films out there that, are, great. Like you've got Insidious Chapter 1, Insidious Chapter 2, Insidious Chapter 3, Insidious The Final Key. You've got Sinister 1 and 2. I think there might be a third one in there somewhere as well. I mean, there's just so many, amazing horror films out there. And some of them, I'm not just saying that, Blumhouse does an amazing job with all of their horror films, because that's what they do. They do horror. But there's other movies that don't have anything to do with Blumhouse Productions that are just as amazing as those ones that are in Blumhouse production, whatever they do with their films and stuff. I love every single horror film that I've watched from Blumhouse. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't know every single, Blumhouse production horror film. I could look that up on my computer and maybe watch all of them at one point, but I just want to let you guys know that those movies are the best horror films that I've seen in my lifetime. And I've seen a lot of horror films. I'm not saying I'm going to be, do anything like those horror films, because that's not the type of person I am. I just like watching them. I'm not actually going to be, like Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger or anyone like that or any demon related movies either. That's just not me. That's not who I'm gonna be. That's not who I ever will want to be. I just thought I'd let you know that horror films have been a part of my life ever since I turned 18, which was 16 years ago. And I didn't really watch a whole lot in the first 2 years of, the last 2 years of my teenage years when you could go see horror films. I started watching them more towards when I was 20 to even, actually it's not 16 years, it's 13. Because I turned 20 11 years ago. So it's got to be 13 years ago that I could have started watching horror films, but I didn't start watching them until I was 20, 21 or 20 till now. And that's what's important. And I'm not saying that all horror films are great. I'm just saying the ones that I really like are from Blumhouse Productions, or like some of the movies I listed prior to this. The Final Destination series, that was a good bunch of films as well. The Ouija and Origin of Ouija, that was a good one. Scream 4. All of these, I haven't seen I've seen the first 3 Scream films, but I don't remember what they were. And there's so many other horror films I have on DVD, and so many horror films I have on iTunes that I could watch. And that's what October is for, is to watch as many Halloween films or horror films or whatever, or thrillers, anything like that. The entire month is dedicated to that. And we're going to do that for the second annual this year. Because I did that last year for the 31 days leading up to Halloween. Now I know that's still, what is it? We're in the middle of July. So that's still, a couple months away. But I've got so many horror films and thrillers that I can watch on iTunes and on Netflix and on DVD and stuff like that. So I thought I'd just share with you that, I'm partial to the Blumhouse production movies and other horror films as well, and other thrillers as well. It's just, I believe that the Blumhouse Productions ones are better than the ones that aren't part of the Blumhouse Productions, whatever they call it. Anyways, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. And there are no birthdays today for celebrities or YouTubers. I mean, there probably is, but I don't know what they are. And there's probably a friend or two of mine from high school or college that has a birthday today. So, if you're celebrating a birthday, I'm just wishing you a happy birthday right now. Alright, I gotta go. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.